Hello, I'm Amita Sehgal, Principal Lecturer at Majors Institute of Excellence, Singapore. This tutorial covers how to animate a run cycle in Maya. This is the second tutorial in the series Animation 101. You can find the link to the first video, which is how to animate the walk cycle in Maya, in the comments section below. For this tutorial, we are going to use the Ultimate Walker rig. You can download it for free off the internet. For the timing and the key poses, we are going to refer to Richard Williams's book, Animator's Survival Kit. These are the key poses for a 13-frame run cycle. It goes from frame 1 to 13 and 1 being the exact same pose, and frame 7 being a mirror of 1 and 13. Let's look at the components of the run cycle. Very similar to the walk cycle, you have a contact pose, a down pose when the weight comes down onto the front leg, the passing pose where the weight starts getting pushed off and the back foot comes forward, the up pose, which is the last frame of contact for the back leg, which is stretched and the body is at its highest point, followed by the contact pose. I personally prefer using the 17-frame run cycle. It just gives us a few more frames to work the run well. One of the things that most run cycles have is a few frames, minimum 2, where the body is entirely off the ground. So in these key poses, you can see that frame 7 and 8 are completely off the ground, and that gives a nice effect to the run. So we have the contact at frame 1, 9 and 17, the down pose at frame 3, passing at 5, the high pose at 6, and 7 and 8 are off the ground. So let's take this into Maya. Okay, so let's start. The first thing we're going to do is set 17 frames as the frame range. I like taking the feet in slightly under the body so they're not completely parallel, and just rotating them out a little so they're more naturally posed. So just a slight rotation on the y-axis, and then it's better to go into a side viewport to put in the rest of the poses. We just have a look at the poses in the Richard Williams book, just so you know how the legs are positioned. Again, please be careful not to hyperextend the legs. Keep a minute bend in the knee. The body is going to be tilted forward in a run cycle, not too much, and you can rotate it in the Y and the Z axis to favor the reach of the legs. This becomes your contact pose with an outstretched leg. You can then select all the main controls and save a key. Save the same key to 17. At frame 9, we're going to create a mirror of that pose. It doesn't have to be perfectly mirrored. Even a rough eyeballing of the pose is okay. For the body, I'm just going to reverse the values in rotation, and the legs I'm going to roughly position it into a mirrored pose. Please remember again to select the main controls and save a key. Next, we're going to put the down pose at frame 3. So the front leg becomes completely flat on the ground, so you can remove any rotation and go in and make your Y translation 0. The body comes down because the weight is now coming down on it. 5 is your passing pose. In your passing pose, the back leg is stretched, but it still has weight on it, so I'm going to use toe roll because it's still carrying the weight of the body. The front leg is not exactly passing, but it's overtaking slightly, so you can move it a little further ahead. That becomes your passing pose. Make sure to adjust your up vectors so the knees are pointing properly. Then comes your high pose, which is at frame 6, one frame after the passing pose. This will be the last frame of contact for the back leg. So the back leg is still touching the floor, but there is no weight on it, so you can remove the toe roll and raise the body up. It's a good thing to put your motion trail on and see the trajectory of the feet. Make sure that they're moving in clean arcs. So this becomes your up pose with the front foot high, because it then gets kicked out in the front in frame 7 and 8, and the back leg gets pushed back. So the back leg gets kicked backwards and the front leg ahead in the 2 frames where the body is completely off the ground. Again, just keep in mind that you have a clean trajectory on both feet, and each frame is a clean progression from the previous. Okay, so that's frame 7 and 8. Okay, I mean, of course, there is finessing to do in between, but overall, as far as main poses are concerned, it works. And now you can go in and put in the keys in the second half of the cycle. So the down pose in the second half of the cycle will be at frame 13, and the passing pose at 15. We'll start with the passing pose. Remember that the weight is on the foot, so it has slight toe roll. Be careful not to hyperextend the back leg. Keep a minute bend. Adjust the up vectors so that the knee is not splaying out, and save controls. Save the keys on the controls. The down pose is at frame 11. Make sure the foot is flat on the ground, the body comes down. The up pose is at frame 14. This is where the weight is off the back foot because it's just about to get lifted off the ground. And it's fully stretched, but of course not hyperextended. The front leg is the front foot can be a little higher, and frame 15 and 16 are the ones where the feet are off the ground. So that's when the body has been pushed off the ground before it lands again at the contact pose. Again, keep in mind the trajectory of the feet. So check the motion trail to see that it's moving in a clean arc. Put your run on real time, and that's it. This is your run cycle. When you're looping the run cycle or even making a play blast, make sure to reduce one frame at the end, because frame 1 and 17 are the exact same frame, so you don't want to loop it with 2 exact frames in the middle of the cycle. So make it 16 frames and it will give you a proper loop. that's it for this tutorial. Thank you very much. Hopefully it was of help. Please feel free to write any feedback, suggestions on what you might want a tutorial on next, and your comments in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Till next time. Bye.